Welcome back. I hope you're ready. Second game of the series is coming up. Relax, you're doing fine. One game up in the series, of course, you are watching the best of three for the winners bracket semifinals. And Relax, you're doing fine are up against 4FC in this one, who, of course, will try to force out a third game, because otherwise they will get dropped to the loser bracket. So they need to win this match to still keep themselves in the winners bracket. But regardless of the outcome, it is not an elimination, so there is some kind of comfort to be found in that one. We're going to find out what they're going to do with the draft, with their heroes, how they're going to run things right about now, because we jump ourselves into the draft where we see that Relax for this second game is on the Dire side, while 4FC is on the Radiant side for this one. So let's see what they're going to do with things. We're going to have a Venomancer picked up as a first pick, a very unorthodox first pick for 4FC, I find, because it's a strong hero, but is it worthy of a first pick? It was in the hands of Juicy in the hands of Relax in the previous game. And perhaps they just wanted to make sure that Dance in Trance is not going to be a strong Venomancer as it was before. Relax, though, they're doing as in the team, they're banning out the same heroes as they did previous game. Nyx Assassin and Visage. So 2 strong supports removed, and therefore 4FC knows, like, now we need to pick up the supports, otherwise they are going to get all the strong ones. Crystal Maiden, still in, so Relax pick up her, as well as the Clockwork, as the Ember and Enchantress were the first 2 bans that 4FC went for. Now Ember I can understand, but Enchantress, it's kind of interesting to see them ban out that one, considering she was not banned nor picked in the previous game. But perhaps that just means that they don't want to get some early game ganks going on. I mean, that could be something. Or they want to save the Chen for themselves, which is, of course, also something that could happen. For now, though, it is going to be 4FC thinking what they want to do. There we go. It is going to be a Timbersaw. So before it gets banned out, they secure themselves a pick. Timbersaw. Clockwork versus Timbersaw would be nice to see. Depends, of course, if we're going to see aggressive tri-lanes or not. We have a Puck removed from the pool. So we did see Puck, of course, by Shachlo in the previous game, which was very strong. Apart from one missed Dream Coil. It has to happen, you know, you have to have the exception to the rule. But yeah, a heavy control hero. And also something that is very annoying to a Timbersaw, because, you know, he can Timber Chain himself away normally. But if there is if there is a Dream Coil up, the tick of the Dream Coil will stop you in your tracks, regardless of where you were planning to Timber Chain yourself out towards. English is hard. Invoker removed. We also still have Mirana in the pool, a hero that I said like Strengby plays a lot of, but I have to say I was underwhelmed by his Mirana in the previous game. And yes, I realized that he is
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, he was kind of forced to go into the more hard carry role because the rest of his team lost his lanes and he was not farmed enough to actually make a difference there. But
Dire team pick.
Still, I was not impressed. Puck now removed, as well as the Ancient Apparition, and it is the Storm Spirit that is the first pickup for Relax. You're doing fine. Tame a Wild Storm Spirit, always something pretty to see. It's a very early reveal of the Storm Spirit though, and like, it's fairly easy to counter that right now in terms of, or counter that. You know, just pick up a Queen of Pain. He'll be decent against the Storm Spirit. And 4FC actually themselves, they remove the Puck, which is actually a decent counter towards the Storm. But they go for Templar Assassin, so that will be our hero here. I like it. We'll see how it works out though. I will of course be Slumbomb playing the Templar Assassin here. Release Timbersaw, most likely. So we're lacking a core and we're lacking a support on the side of 4FC. For Relax, we're lacking the same things, because they keep picking the same roles.
Slark.
And there's your core right there, Slark. Now, I have to admit, you know what, Slark is nice, and he can take off Refraction, for example, real fast. And his Essence Shift is pretty nice against Timbersaw as well, but is it strong enough? Like, picking him up right now does mean that right now Relax has given away what kind of cores they have, right? So if 4FC pick up a support that can turtle real hard, and that can control real hard, apparently. Turtle and control is in the hands of Shadow Shaman. And if they pick up a core that carries just a bit harder than a Slark, then they're pretty secure for later game. All they then have to do is hold on until the later game comes. Or they have to make sure that they are going to be able to deal with the Storm Spirit and Slark. In which case, that Shadow Shaman, I really like that pickup. Because Storm Spirit, I mean, you can shackle him and you can hex him and he's not going to get away.
Team ban.
He is not going to get away. Slark, same story. He can maybe... No, he can't even press his R button and get away then. No, he is going to get held in place for a while. And they lack disable. Granted, I mean, he is their only hero that can disable people. Fair enough. While on the side of Relax, of course, you've got your Pounds, you've got your Vortex, you've got your Frostbite and the Cog. So, yeah, there's that difference. But I do like the Shadow Shaman pickup a lot. The Doom is the last one to get banned out for Relax. Don't want to deal with that one. Of course, Storm Spirit, a hero that suffers under the hands of Doom, the spell especially. Slark as well, actually. Also, his Shadow Dance doesn't work then, so... Yeah, don't want to deal with that. I don't blame them. 4FC, one last ban to go their place, as... their way, as in, I mean... Wow, my English is really horrible today. But 4FC is the one to have the last pick, so they can go for a surprise carry pick. Here, as Relax, need one more... support / jungle hero. The Chen gets removed. If they want to go for jungle hero, I mean, Enigma is still free. Personally, I like a support better. Or secondary support. I know you're not gonna believe me, but I was actually gonna suggest Sand King. As, yeah, I was gonna suggest Sand King. It sounds so lame. After, like, saying Sand King, like, oh, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Of course. But yeah, Sand King is the pickup for support, secondary support. I like it a lot because you can, of course, Burrow Strike, which kind of disrupts everybody. If there's going to be a shackle on someone, then Sand King can get in fast and get his game going. And yeah, he's a real playmaker, and they kind of need something to get in there, an initiator that is less susceptible to getting instantly shackled than the Storm. And you kind of don't want to shackle the Sand King because there's already a Storm Spirit that you want to use it on or a Slark. So yeah, I like the pickup a lot. We do have 4FC thinking about their last pick. They need a core hero. Now, there are still so many in there, and I was not going to say a Lone Druid. I am honest about that kind of stuff. I was actually going to say something like a Luna, who was still in the pool, I believe, as well. But it is a Lone Druid that they pick up. And yes, it is a really typical hero, but this does mean that it is a Lone Druid probably on a safe lane. But Timbersaw played... Yeah, Timbersaw by Strangby. Is it interesting? I have to say it's an interesting draft from them. I really was not expecting something like that. As we do have we have a disconnect coming out for Relax, but hopefully they'll fix that shortly. But yes, again, welcome to the Yard Wide Festival. This is the Winners Bracket semifinals, and we are watching Relax. You are doing fine. And they are one game up compared to their opponents in this best of 3 series. It is 4 friends plus Krilly, and they are the ones to try and force out a third game. Of course, I just said it, winners bracket. That does mean that neither team is going home after this match, but the loser will make it to the loser bracket rather than to the winners bracket. And the loser bracket is best of 1, so you do want to make it to the winners bracket where you just have more chances, less games played. And where is the Storm? Like, I see... Is he gonna come from the floor? Look at that. What's happened to him? He's hiding in the floor. It's funny, actually. He's so happy all the time. It's so frustrating. Look at his face. Imagine if you would have to look at that the whole day. Wouldn't you just want to punch him in the face? I would want to punch him in the face. It's too happy. There we go. You would want to punch that in the face too, but for different reasons. Is there someone who looks normal? Yeah! Like the bear. Bear is funny. His mouth open though. Lone Druid looks kinda nonchalant too. No. Punch. Oh, she looks pretty. Yeah, she's pretty. Okay, so we have a pause because we're lacking one of Relax, but it gives us time to select a HUD skin. Boom. There we go. But yeah, let's take a look at who's playing what. For 4FC, we can already check that completely. Actually, we can do that for Relax as well. But 4FC, they've got Slumbum playing the Shadow Shaman this game. No Legs Cow will play the Templar Assassin. We'll go mid with that one. Strangby, normally the carry player, will play the Timbersock. Really, it is their Lone Druid player. Will play the Lone Druid. It's his signature hero. It is an amazing hero for him. The only thing he needs is time, and we're gonna see if his supports or his team is going to be able to give that to him. Juicy will play the Venomancer for this game, and that is everybody on the side of 4FC. For Relax, we're having Dread playing the Sand King. I'm expecting some big plays from him. We have Yoki on the Slark. Shashlo playing, or Shashlo, Jesus. Sorry people, I do kind of mess up his name often, but I try. He's playing the Clockwork offlane, of course, as we always see him do. Tema Wild, of course, on the Storm Spirit. And that will mean that the Crystal Maiden goes the way of Dance in Trance, as that is the last support for Relax. I do like the Crystal Maiden Sand King combination as well. Crystal Maiden, of course, with their aura, making sure that there's some extra mana going the way of the Sand King. And that even, like, normally already with the buff to Blink Dagger and all that, Sand King doesn't necessarily need mana boots before going for Blink Dagger. And that's a trend that we've been seeing more and more. And with the Crystal Maiden aura, that goes more so, because there's going to be even extra mana for Dread to spend with that aura there. So I like that a lot. And I think the combination is pretty strong as well. And especially also early game, because overall you'd say in the early game Sand King is not that strong because his Burrow Strike range is super duper short. But Crystal Maiden can either Frostbite a target, so that Dread can walk up to it and Burrow Strike from that, or we're gonna see a slow coming out, and that slow might be helping Dread to get in range as well for the Burrow Strike, so. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see if they can make it active though, as Dance in Trance did reconnect, pick up his hero, so we are gonna have ourselves a go very soon. A lot of pings coming out. I don't expect it to be an aggressive tri lane. I think they don't need to. However, they might just want to try and slow down the Lone Druid. And if the Lone Druid is on the bottom lane, I would even say that that's worth losing a bit of farm for on the Slark. The Lone Druid is going to be their real threat later on. And I think Storm should be able to at least level against DA. Might not be having the easiest of times, but I think that would be okay. We'll see though. There's already a smoke picked up by the Venomancer, so we might see some active roaming coming out from Juicy and Slumbum. Looks like there is going to be a Lone Druid on the safe lane, and we are going to see Timbersaw off lane, so yeah, it is going to be as expected then. For Relax, they're not going to try to stop that Lone Druid. They're going to go top with their tri lane and boof the Clockwork against the Lone Druid, which is actually, until level 5, it's a fairly decent lane for Shaklo to be in, and he might be able to harass the Clockwork or the Lone Druid a bit, but once the Lone Druid has Entangle, then things start to get very scary, because Shaklo could actually die from that. Now on the upside, before that, he might actually be able to kill the bear off. Might get 300 gold for that if he gets the cog in, but we'll see if he's gonna try. We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Hey. I did not notice this yet, but there's a bit of snow here on the floor. There's even a snowy log here. Look at that. Oh. Well. I guess there's snow everywhere. Wow. Am I only just now noticing this now? That's so stupid. There's more snow on Dire than there is on Radiant. Well, looks like we might have a tri-lane top, depending on where these two are going. Both of them are having a smoking, like, you know, typical, if I would talk about Shadow Shaman as a support, I would actually say that he needs levels. And he is not the strongest early game support, needs a couple of levels before he can actually start making things happen. And so seeing this, as aggressive as they are, is kind of surprising to me. And they're actually going to go for this. I mean, yes, they are up against a Storm, and we know that Storm does not have an escape. Tim Wild comes for... Oh, they're going to go for this. Their Hex is there. Is there more? There's going to be a Gale as well. It hits barely on the edge. There's no new refraction, though. And this might actually be turning around real fast. It has to be very careful. Very careful now. Tim Wild, though. He runs. He lives. Or does he live? Or does he not live? Dread comes in. Not needed anymore. But that's the first gank attempt wasted because they were impatient. Tema Wild, he actually was planning on... Or, I'm going to assume that he was planning on moving a bit closer to the river before they went in, but... Yeah, very good movement from him. A bit impatient coming out from 4FC. I like the idea, though. I like the aggression, as we are going to see Timo Wild still getting chased down, but he picks up a regen rune. So now all of a sudden it is Templar Assassin that is the one that has to be careful, but so far so good, I'd say. As the supports are back on the bottom lane, trying to harass Saklo. I don't think that he knows that they are here, though. Now he does. Hello. And that's going to be a Gale hitting if he wants to, but he's just going to harass him out. There is no Poison Sting yet on this Venomancer, so it's just right-click harass. Taking a look at the top lane, we will have Yoki harassing this Timbersaw quite a lot as well. Didn't go for the pounce, even though I think he could have. Nice harass coming out from Strengby as well. He has got the bigger wave here, so he will be pushing out the lane. He knows that too, so he might as well do as much damage as he can before the lane disappears from sight. Illusion Rune for Saklo. It's a very risky undertaking to check out where the first blood is gonna happen, because there are so many possibilities here. Like, I feel like the support duo on the side of 4FC is not done yet. I mean, they tried once, but they still have another smoke in their pockets, and otherwise they can at least try it on the Clockwork. Timbersaw is playing fairly aggressive. Now gets Frostbitten as well. There might be a Burrow Strike coming off, but the Timber Chain is there first. But yeah, he is level 3 right now, so he's maybe a bit less susceptible to dying, actually, but still not easy, as we have No Legs Cow in some trouble here as well. No mana for Refraction, does have the stick charges to get himself back up to the right amount of mana, though, but not doing as well as you would hope from him, as he is 7-2 compared to 14-3 for the Storm Spirit. But there is a smoked up support combination again, and I like that they pulled the wave first, making sure that it looks like there are supports actually pulling and stacking. But let's see if that is gonna be Tamer Wild careful or not. He is gonna be the target. They're gonna come in from the tower side though, and that means that they are gonna be scouted out early. The tower does tick off the smoke.
Denied.
Patience is a virtue. Waiting for the proper positioning. They reveal themselves though, and Tamer Wild, all he has to do is just walk that way. Just walk that way, and he's fine. That's all he needs to do, really. It's a bad smoke. Coming from this side might have been better. They would have had more time to go in for the Gale. They do force him out of experience range, I guess. They force him out of the lane, but a rotation like that should be resulting into a kill. This is the second smoke they use, and all they get out of it is just pushing... Like, the first smoke, they didn't even push someone out of the lane. No, this is just pushing Storm out of the lane for the first time, and he barely misses anything. Temple Assassin does get some extra last hits, but it doesn't really matter at all. Oh, it's a bit of a bad smoke. And that smoke position, regardless, if you're Radiant and you're gonna smoke the Dire mid lane, you should always come from this side. I think that is kind of known, unless you know that your solo mid is strong enough to force your enemy core hero to there, and you come from this side. Then it is a good position to be in. But otherwise, no.
Denied.
And that's the reason right there. Krilly sitting on 25-16, and he has got Entangle on his bear, and we do see Saklo being a lot more scared. He's got 6 last hits. He's leveling, sure, but that's all. That's all you can say right now. If he comes close and he gets entangled, he'll die. He knows that too. At the same time, Timbersaw is having a bit of a better time than the Clockwork has, because Timbersaw is level 5 right now. Not died yet either, is up against, of course, also a dual lane. Pounds hits though. Can still Timber Chain himself away. He's gone. There he goes. The bear chases down the Clockwork here. Bear also with Orb of Venom on him, so more harassment coming out, as it looks like Dread might be able to make a play here. He is, of course, covered by the darkness of the night, as it is nighttime. And he is maybe helped out. No, Crystal Maiden is backing off. Just place an observer, just in case those supports come back and reveal themselves. It could be, oh, Burrow Strike. He is level 2 only, though. You need to be level 3 to get those that range on that Burrow Strike. Right now you can almost count it as a melee spell, as you can see. And he actually went for level 2 in the Sandstorm, which is interesting because that's not normally something that you see. Burrow Strikes are the ones that you want. He's really relying on Vortexes and Frostbites to set him up for the Burrow Strike then. So maybe Harass is all he wanted. We have got a Clockwork coming in. He might not be level 6. But he does have level 3 in Battery Assault, which will be ticking off the Refraction real fast on the Templar Assassin, should he get him cogged in, of course. Haste Rune picked up by the Storm. Pretty scary, as he's also level 6. Could be turning that into a first blood, I think. Especially with these supports so low level. I mean, they had 2 rotations, both failed. Shadow Shaman level 2, Venomancer level 3. Compare that to the Crystal Main who's level 4 and the Sand King who's now level 4 as well. So that's a big difference, a painful difference as well. And I mentioned earlier, like, if I was going to say something about Shadow Shaman, it's that he's level dependent. And so having him this sad on experience is a sad thing to see. Very sad thing to see indeed. No first blood on the board, by the way. We are almost 7 minutes into the game. And both of these teams are happy the way that it is. Well, maybe if 4FC not that much. They slowed down Tema well, but with him level 6, like, that is why you try to shut him down before that happens, right? There is a reason for that. But no. No can do. Spirit Bear entangles and creeps. Hand of Midas picked up by Krilly. He's in for the long haul. Another smoke for 4FC. Well, at this point, it is almost kind of desperate. It is almost just very, very scary. That's what it is. Because if they smoke the supports, which they're probably going to try to do again, there is, and he is actually placing a ward. They saw it though. But if they're trying again with supports, there's a pretty decent chance that Relax is in time with rotations and they actually get kills in return at that point. Venomancer's trying to get some experience here in the jungle by slowly, very slowly taking down a jungle stack. Not pulling or stacking though, he's letting Krilly push the tower out because at this point Krilly, I mean, he is like a lone druid overall, is a decent farmer. But at some point, the most part of his gold comes from taking down towers. So that's why you see Morty laying down so much pressure here on this bottom lane. And in the meantime, the Clockwork did make it to level 6, so he has got his hook shot. Now what I like to see from him right now is that he rotates. And he actually gets something going. Maybe we're going to have something going here, though, with the teleport coming in. Crystal Main goes for the bear, however. Still 300 gold if they take it, but it doesn't look like they do at all. And the bear actually gets given a salve. They do deny the tower. Nonetheless, some extra gold maybe is enough. Oh, Refraction here in the mid lane coming out just in time to keep No Legs Cow up. Timo out, not getting the first blood on his hands. Though he really wanted to have it. Really wanted to have it. Can't get it though. Crystal Main, level 5. She's got another smoke. Or got her own smoke, I should say, because she didn't have a smoke before. And this is why we saw him leveling the Sandstorm. Getting some farm in the jungle by himself. He is only 600 gold away from having his own Blink Dagger already. Hookshot in, catches out the Shadow Shaman, who did go for a Hex, but it doesn't matter. The first blood is there. Clockwork takes it home. And now Zipin, Venomancer level 3. You're no match for Tema Wild, who is level 8 right now. This is a very dead Venomancer. Lone Druid, why are you here? It's 3 versus 1. You can't chase that. He knows that now too. Backs off as the rest of Relax back themselves up. It's 3 kills across the board because Slark got a solo kill here on the top lane against a Timbersaw while that all was happening. So very, very strong now for Relax. At 10 minutes into the game, they lead the charts. They are the ones to do best of all. Lone Druid can still turn into be a very big nuisance in this game, but for now, they hold the reins. And they are the ones to determine how, where, when, what happens. But that will only, well, I think they're gonna pause for a bit in terms of aggression and continue again once that Sand King has his Blink Dagger. He's so close. like as a Sand King, you don't want to have the risk of giving stuff away. He is actually smoked up, so they're going to try to take down the Timbersaw again, this time with help of supports. The Shadow Dance is there again as well, so why not? If the Pounce hits, he's dead. First though, the Burrow Strike. The slow is already there, the Burrow Strike still hits as well. There will be a Frostbite Epicenter, and he will drop for the second time this game. Dread, in the end, with the last hit, it is 0-4 in favor of Relax. And their supports, one smoke rotation, making it happen. We have Lone Druid in a lot of trouble on the bottom lane. Will get picked off. Storm Spirit with the haste rune, making sure that happens. Gets help from the Clockwork Hookshot, of course, as well. And that is something they cannot afford to have happen. Lone Druid needs to farm, needs to get his Radiance up, needs, like, he is the guy to carry this game on his shoulders, and if he then dies, they cannot afford that. Templar Assassin, of course, also here, that could have the game on her shoulders, but she is really not that strong yet. She actually, she lost mid, might not have died, but the experience gain for her is less than what Team of Wild got. The last hits, the farm is less than what Team of Wild got. And she's just not ready yet to step out to the real world to try and make things happen. I mean, it's a very scary world out there. You've got a Sand King that now has a Blink Dagger. You've got a Crystal Maiden that can frostbite you, and you're visible, and you can't really go anywhere. Oh, woo, perfect frostbite! The Burrow Strike will finish it off right here. That frostbite was so incredibly on point. As you can, of course, get yourself out of a frostbite with a timber chain, but you can get but if you get frostbitten inside or while timber chaining, then that's not gonna happen. No battery assault coming out. The cogs as well, perfectly orchestrated by Shacklo, and he will get that Shadow Shaman death kill thing. Yes, that's a good kill for him. He has to be careful though. He's gonna try to teleport himself out. Let's see if it first hit entangle. Yes, first hit entangle. It hits, and that should be enough to get the kill going. There we go. Cruelly, really happy with getting that one. He really needed that as well. Very nicely done for him. Well, yeah, like, you can't, like, I'm not sure how far you can actually say very nicely done if you're just getting a one hit entangle. You know, it's always a lot. So I don't know. Anyways, we have Shadowblade now up for the Slark as well. He is now ready to go in. Talking about going in. Tame Wild thinks that he can take down Strangby, but he gets shackled, he gets hexed. He'll go down instead. Now in comes the cavalry though. It is indeed the Slark, who actually runs himself away. Doesn't think he can take down the Timbersaw, and leaps himself over the trees to get himself towards his courier, because the Shadowblade was not in his inventory yet until the courier got to him, so couldn't do anything before that. And those were the first two kills that 4FC got, so that the Clockwork bottom lane, and now also the Storm Spirit on the top lane. And those two kills are actually very important. They're not even on supports, they're just on solo lanes. Now granted, the Slark is probably the more important one right now, but you know, oh, this bear, you're so dead. That's 300 gold going the way of Relax, and let's see who gets it. It's Shacklo. That's good for him. 1300 gold for him. In the meantime, mid lane, Refraction is now off. There's more slows. Tame Wild going for it. Nice melt coming out, but it's still gonna be forcing. Ooh, it's fine. Send word up on Steppingport here. It's kind of weird, but Timbersaw went down the bottom on the top lane, by the way. As that was the solo kill for Slark, putting a Shadowblade into action. I mean, it can show every death that Timbersaw has, but Timbersaw will just keep dying if he doesn't have help. As he did die so far 4 times. He is half of the kills that Relax has right now. That's a bit scary. Orchid being built up by this Storm Spirit. He needs one step closer to it with killing off this Shadow Shaman. Well, actually, that was a kill steal, if I've ever seen any. The Nova from the Crystal Main maxed out, granted, does do a lot of damage, but gets the kill there. So Crystal Main smokes up together with the Sand King. Let's see where they can go. Let's see who they can find. Lone Druid seems to be their goal here. The drooling female bear that you can see here. It does look female, doesn't he? I've got pretty eyelashes and stuff, yeah. But not very charming, as he is drooling. Venomman's already dead, but we're following Curly's attempt of dying, well, attempt of staying alive. Let's go to that one. We have teleports coming in. They want to try and help him out. Look for the entangles. Can they find them? Not just yet. No entangles. In comes the epicenter and the Burrow Strike. Dread already take down the Shadow Shaman, and that's going to be Templar Assassin dead as well with one more hit. Meld will live. Yoki can get him, gets a kill indeed. Strangby in the meantime getting a double kill as well, though barely making it out alive. And never mind, doesn't make it out alive. Tame Wild, he's gonna be able to run, has a gale on him. But it's not enough to take him down. It's a complete team wipe as we saw the Venomancer die. It's the last one there. Yes, Sand King died. Yes, Clockwork died. But everybody on the side of 4FC died, as well as Relax was prepared for that fight. They were all there as well. Very nicely done. And I mean, I guess if you're Relaxed, you know that the enemy team will protect your lone druid. So they were ready for that. Burrow Strike, Epicenter coming in from Dread, doing a lot of work. And of course the Sandstorm, making sure that Templar Assassin's Refraction doesn't do shit because it gets ticked off almost immediately. This Templar Assassin is having a very rough game. Yoki now with the Shadow Blade going mid. Let's see where he's going. Knows that there is a tower there. Has to be on the edges, the outskirts. In comes the hookshot though. And the pounce up on the Veno. Still the Gale lands on 2, but it's the Veno that dies. Shadow Demon following straight after. And I mean, that is 4-17. Meantime, top lane. Looks like Dread. Burrow Strikes. Now he's not going to be able to get the kill, but he can get out. I mean, this is support Sand King versus an offlane Timbersaw, and he can't get the kill, as in Timbersaw cannot get the kill. Templar Assassin making sure that this bottom lane is not a safe place for Radiant team, as Krilly can't really afford to die anymore. They need his Radiance now rather than later, and he is still very far off. Like, he's only sitting on 3100 gold. Let's see if we can get some entangles. I guess that's also a thing from the previous fight, where there was no entangle coming out from the Clockwork straight away, and if that would have happened, like, the luck factor in the bear is so big. Oh, top lane Timbersaw. He's invisible for the moment, but he is surrounded by 2. He finds Dread. Perhaps they can pick him off. They have got the Shadow Shaman around there as well. He's baiting things out. He's level 6 now. Sentward goes down. He hexes him up. They're gonna go for this. Let's see if they can. Either Shock, Burrow Strike away. There's Blink in 1 second, and he's just fine. Like, he's really fine. And who might not be fine is someone else, as there's a Shadow Blade Slark looking for a target. There's a Sentward around there, though, and they do see him. He realized that, as he did have the Shadow Dance stick off. Meantime, bottom lane, Templar Assassin chasing down Shackle, but he forced staffs to the low ground. His first big item ready. Let's take a look at if we have some other items up on heroes that we hadn't seen yet. We've already seen what Slark has, but we don't know yet what he's gonna build with that 3600 gold that he has in his inventory. He is pretty damn rich. Is he gonna go straight for a Scotty? Which is of course a very good item on Slark. I actually wouldn't put it past him. I think like he's ahead. I would find it a very legit option at the moment. Storm Spirit, he's got his Orchid complete right now, so he'll be having that to silence up anybody, which is actually, it's strong against basically everybody that he comes across. Nobody can run from him anymore. So we have the Sand King going for a Veil of Discord by the looks of it. I think Vickerman would approve. Oh, zip in, zip out. Careful there. They look for entangles. They've got themselves the Slark as well as the Clockwork, who's ready for a hook shot. They know he's there though, but doesn't really matter. Burrow Strike coming out. Dread already gets 1 kill before he gets help. There it is. Dread might still actually get picked up, but the Venomancer, Shadow Shaman both go down. Yoki goes for the Shadow Dance. Invisible goes for the Dark Pact as well. Maybe they can get Templar Assassin. No, he is the one that got picked up. That's an unstoppable streak going the way of the Timbersaw. In the meantime, the fight's not over just yet. Curly is chasing down Tama Wild, who still has plenty of mana to zip himself away though. So he should be fine, he should be okay. Now he's out of mana. Is there an entangle coming for him? There is! There is! This might actually be a kill. In comes the Dance in Trance Crystal Maiden though, as the bear will still get Tama Wild, and maybe the Crystal Maiden is now in trouble as well. Gets entangled. Chakalo who's shot into the bear to try and escape, but in the end he'll just find death as well. And that turns into, if he dies, which I think he will, turns into a 5-for-0. The Timber Chain, it is enough. Triple kill for Krilly, and this might be the big turnaround 4FC was waiting for their entire game. But Dread coming in, looking for another Burrow Strike. Krilly in some trouble, 40 health. The Blink is not going to be there for another 5 seconds, so Krilly will make it out alive. He has got the Radiance ready. The Relic is in the bear. The recipe is in his stash. He is sitting still right next to a ward, so he knows that he still has to run for his life, but it's good. This fight was good. 4FC completely back in the game with this fight. And that came down to, I'd say, just, like, I'd say a bit too much YOLO coming out from Relax. They're like, They forced them back. Like, wow, this tower is in deny range and they don't deny it. Well, this is a free tower for Lex, but they forced 4FC back in between their tier 1 and tier 2. Then in comes Dread from the side, who, yes, burrow strikes people, but he still ended up going down before the fight even starts. Clockwork was on the other side of the fight, picks up a support, great. But then you have Clockwork on the wrong side of the fight, already using all his spells on a Shadow Shaman support. Dread giving his life for Venomancer support, and then in comes Lone Druid, and in comes the Entangles. And that is going to be people diving on their tier 1 towers, and they just threw their lives away. Good fight for 4FC though, and well, not so good positioning for the Shadow Shaman, who is going to get picked up. He's trying to do what he can, but nonetheless, the bear is there. Perhaps he can avenge that. The burn is there as well. The Venomancer still got picked up by the Slark in his Shadow Dance, but this might be actually Relax diving in again. Tama Wild, he is actually going to jump in and get picked up, just like that. Very easy, very worth a trade as well, as the bear still hasn't been able to find more. Hasn't been able to entangle more. Hasn't been able to burn people more, but I think that is still going to be happening. Yoki comes back in as well. Really has to be careful. He actually gets picked up, and now all of a sudden, this could be turning bad for 4FC. As without Lone Druid, they are kinda not in fighting state. Lone Druid is their entire fighting state. No Legs Cow puts up the refraction. For the moment, it's going to help him out. The Gale whiffs. Can they force them at least back? A 3 versus 3 here. Never mind. 3 versus 4. Dread comes in with an Epicenter, able to help take down the Shadow Shaman and the Venomancer. And there goes the Templar Assassin as well. Double kill for Yoki. His Dance and Trance will go down from the poison. Should go down from the poison. Doesn't go down from the... Goes down from the poison. There we go. That was expected. But 4 people dead on the side of 4FC. Better yet, Shadow Shaman died twice in the same fight. And I think the Venomancer as well as... Yeah, they died twice in the same fight. And, I mean, Timbersaw didn't die. Big whoop. Lone Druid died. That's the most important thing there is for 4FC. It's the 3rd time that Lone Druid dies. He cannot farm right now. He does have a Radiance on his bear, but he's... Like, he's not completely invincible, right? He has to actually, you know, keep his head cool and not overextend. There's your Scotty for the Slark. Indeed, as his 2nd item after Shadowblade. Gets it. Hook shot, gets himself another Shadow Shaman. We've seen this scenario before. This time though, more fight coming out, and it looks like Shaklo is going to be the one to eat a bullet here. Or not, because Yoki comes in and helps out, killing off all the wards. Free gold for him, as the Venomancer got too close as well. Got killed off, but at least they get Clockwork in return. Tama Wild still able to jump to the high ground, had enough mana for that, and will live to tell the tale as Yoki. He's going to be okay as well. Again, invisible. Tama Wild teleports out. It's 2 for 1. I mean, that Clockwork keeps going in for that Shadow Shaman. Keeps getting the kill as well, though, and the fights that they take of it sometimes do work out. Sometimes do indeed work out. We've got 10k gold in favor of Relax. Experience graph, of course, same story. I mean, 4FC, you see that big drop there. That's when they took the fight. That's when they got the Radiance as well, as Dread comes in with the Sandstorm, realizing I might be in a bit too deep. Sedgeward gets put down as well. Dread has got another burst strike in just a couple of seconds, as Dance and Trance already went for the Frostbite. There comes your Tangle. Dread gets hexed up as well, has to be careful, but Slumbum, the one that went for him, is already dead. Yoki makes sure that happens. Tama Wild, the longest zip, goes for Krili. What's with that zip? He is able to get the kill. Completely worth it. Completely out of mana, but completely worth it as well, as he might actually be able to get himself out of there as well. But there is going to be a Templar Assassin and a Timbersaw chasing him down, as Yoki in the meantime just picks up those supports. Tama Wild, can he get away? No, he cannot get away. Very straightforward answer. But killing off the Lone Druid, worth it? Yes. For sure. Worth it for sure. Especially if Clockwork comes in again and Templar Assassin. He is, for the moment, sitting there invisible, but the AoE damage coming out. The refraction comes in. Maybe they can turn this around. Crystal Maiden gets dropped, and Yoki invisible once again. Inside his Shadow Dance, the Chakram comes out. It's not enough just yet, though. And that will be Yoki safe. No tree around here means that there's no way that there can be extra life coming. He jumps towards the tree line. They're gonna see him again shortly. There they are. They find him. Can they hold him in place? Is there gonna be a hex? Yes, there is. He dark packed it off already though, and the poison nova coming out still. And he's inside the Shadow Dance. He's gonna be able to take down the Timbersaw, but Timbersaw suicides. Ooh, the dark pact almost killed off that Shadow Shaman already. Can they find him? There's no detection, or there is detection, but there's no disable, that is. And if they would come too close, Dread would be there with a Burrow Strike, so they can't afford to do that. At least he didn't get the kill, but he lives. He lives, and that means that the push is not off. That means that Relax can continue doing whatever they want to do, continue taking down the tier 2 tower, forcing 4FC to continue to try and fight, as the bear with the Radiance doesn't seem to be enough just yet. Perhaps they can at least take down Dread, who's invisible for the moment, but oh, charging it out an Epicenter, and he gets it off as well with the last breath of his life, and he's almost able to kill off Juicy, and Yoki will finish it off with one hit. Unstoppable he is. Get shackled, but Dark backed out of it, stuck in the trees for now. They know where he is though. Oh, the trees were actually cleared for him. Dark packed, gets out alive, in comes the Clockwork. It's a non-ending fight here as Table Wild comes back in as well, goes for Curly, and he got him once, he get him again. Shackalo gets the last hit on this one though, as the Templar Assassin and Shadow Shaman drop as well. 4 dead on the side of 4FC, and they tap out. They don't want to deal with this anymore. The constant aggression coming out from Relax is too much to take. That does mean that it is going to be Relax taking on Power Rangers in the winners bracket finals, and 4FC will get dropped down to the loser bracket. Their opponent, not yet known, but it's going to be a best of 1 that they have to beat in order to make it still to that grand finals later on in the bracket. For now though, their adventure in the winners bracket is over. Relax victorious 2-0 here in the winners bracket semifinals. Tomorrow we're gonna see ourselves probably one best of 3 between Meet Your Makers and Next Please, and that one, the winner of that game, will go up against 4FC in the loser bracket. Maybe we're going to have some more games scheduled tomorrow, and I'm very much hoping that we're going to see Power Rangers taking on Relax, because I am really looking forward to seeing that match. And just imagine all the aggression coming out. I'm also hoping that for that, we're going to have a co-caster, because otherwise my voice is not going to survive. But thank you for watching. If you want to support me, please stick around for watching a couple commercials, but otherwise, have a great evening, and make sure you continue to watch Dota elsewhere, even though I don't think there's very much on right now, or not anymore anyways. But thank you for watching anyways, and yeah. That's actually all I wanted to say. Thank you for supporting the Art White Festival, and if you want to support the Art White Festival more, you can of course get their ticket, from which you're going to see a promo movie in just a second. So thank you for being here, thank you for your kind words if you send them, and if you don't have kind words, then, well, I'm not reading them anyway. Well, actually I am, but it doesn't matter to me anyway.